word. Perfect.
Ew.
Okie doke.
So I felt the need to write down like every little fact they were naming of the hotel. Like I wrote down how many rooms there were, where the presidential suite was. I felt like okay, everything like where, because it talks about like the West Wing a lot, because that's where the murder happened, right?
Yeah.
In the West Wing.
Okay.
So I felt like I had to write how many rooms there were in each floor. I don't know why, but I just felt like I feel like it's gonna refer back to it. And if I don't know what floor or where this room is, I'm gonna get lost.
See. I didn't write down like the floor stuff, but I wrote down like I think it was the first chapter, like when the telephone lines go down. It's like every winter at some point or other, they stay down for 3 weeks to a month and a half, and I'm like, is that like foreshadowing what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I kind of got the vibe. Whereas like in it, yeah. And it talked about the pipes too, right? Like, oh, you have to keep watering them or something.
Yeah,
so that
and
they don't
it's like,
freeze.
make sure that this one doesn't go over a certain like pressure, and I'm like,
Or it'll blow up. It'll blow you to the moon, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yo.
I definitely think there was a lot of foreshadowing. I don't remember much of the movie, which I think is good. But the part where they were even talking about the cabin fever, and then Jack's able to pretty much dictionary define cabin fever. I'm like, oh, he's saying it. That's what's going to happen to him. And then he's going to repeat maybe like something similar to what the story of the other guy was. Yeah. The quote where it says, sometimes he does things he's sorry for later. I thought that was like way creepy. I'm like, what is he gonna do?
I wrote down that quote too.
For me, I thought it was very interesting that it was for, I think even this part of the book, it went into his thoughts. Like you would read, or I was listening to it, and like, oh, you little prick, or it would, he'd be kind of saying bad words to the other guy, and then it kept saying, but he held his tongue. So to me, it seems like he thinks he's super smart, which I'm pretty sure he is, because he even says it later, like a smart person like me, I'm just gonna read if the TV goes out.
He won't get bored.
Yeah, he even mentioned.
I thought that was interesting.
He mentioned that the other guy, he's like, did he even go like past high school? And then he's like, oh, I did college, or did he do college? I think he did, right? Yeah, he did. And
I think so, yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of like showing like that's not gonna happen to me because I'm not dumb. But at the same time, this is like, dude, does this mean this is gonna happen even though you say it's not? Like, I'm just like, dude, are these all clues? Because I mean, I haven't seen the movie either, so I don't know.
I thought it was really interesting how they went back into the past, right? There was moments where they went like kind of flashback.
Yeah.
And like it was kind of telling the story of like where Danny broke his arm, because they had mentioned, oh, he had a broken arm. And then the next following chapter, it was like it goes back to how Danny broke his arm, and it shows that, I think, what did they say, that Jack has like he has issues with like his temper.
Yeah.
I keep saying he lost his temper.
He has bad temper.
Yeah.
And then the bad thing that they keep talking about, is that drinking?
I think so, because he said, oh, he's been thinking about those bad things, because he does refer to like his friend, how he says, oh, my friend's dad also does the bad thing or something like that, and it led to divorce, and it was like it capitalized the words divorce because he doesn't like that word.
I think you're right. That makes a lot of sense.
In the book, I didn't see it. Is red rum also capitalized?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys, what is that? I have no idea what that is, because it kept saying it over and over and over.
I know what it is, but I can tell you guys if you want, or I will let you wait.
If it's spoilers, no, I don't want to know. I'll cover my ears and stuff, but if you guys want to know, then, but I don't want to know.
Well, to me, the way I saw red rum was how the kid, when he was thinking of divorce, in the book, it kept saying like that word as if it was a bad word, right? Right? It's a bad word that he doesn't want to think about.
Oh my god, I just like it just hit me. Oh my god, can I say?
Yeah, what?
No, Red
Drinking?
Robber versus Murder. Read it,
Oh my god, I just got chills!
Say it again.
right? Oh my god, it's
Yes!
That's what it is.
oh my god!
I just got fucking chills.
Where's
I gotta look behind me.
Oh, I'm gonna have to reread those like.
chapter? I don't know where that is.
Oh my god, I'm losing it. Oh my god.
How did you even notice that?
It just well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm speechless.
I was reading it red rum. Oh, because in the mirror. He sees it in the mirror. That's where the word first appears, right? He's in a room and there's a mirror and he sees the word spelled out like 3 times. But a mirror, it's on the other side.
Yeah.
If it's on the other side, it spells murder.
I didn't even remember that. I think I probably skimmed that part.
Am I wrong? Because he sees Tony, right? And Tony takes him to this place, right? I don't know if I was reading this correctly, but it's like he takes him to this
Oh
place.
yeah,
and
I
he
don't know
sees,
who is Tony.
I don't know, but I think it's a spirit he sees because he's like, oh, I miss Tony. He's always looking for Tony.
I was wondering if you know how. Oh, this might be a little bit where Rico left off. So the dad Jack, his friend Al, they had like a drunken night, right? And then they hit a bike or something. But they were like, was there a kid or was there not a
Oh
kid?
yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm
shit.
Tony?
Ooh, could be.
What?
So you think that was the kid they like murdered, like accidentally?
I want to say because I feel like was Danny like a
Because he's
little-
always looking for him on the street.
yeah. I don't know.
That's good.
Interesting. I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if that was a dream that Jack had or if it actually happened because he said that there was like nothing, but I don't know if he was just trying to lie. People think that nothing happened.
Well, they were in denial because they didn't want to think that it was even a possibility, right? But then they were super drunk, so they couldn't tell what even happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. This little Danny boy is so
Okay.
special.
Yeah. Like, well, no, I think that was the part that I got creeped out on was when his dad gets home and he looks on the passenger side and he sees, what is it, a hatchet with blood and hair.
Mhm.
And I was like, isn't that how they said the girls were murdered? The daughters were murdered
I
with a
wrote that
hatchet
down.
and the wife with a shotgun.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
That's right before he gets
wrote it
home,
down.
right? He's like,
Yeah, like he gets
And
home
then
and
he has-
I guess he has a hatchet on the passenger side,
He has-
like on the seat.
Yeah, because the little kid,
Yeah, it says.
I
Go ahead.
he has like a sixth sense. But even when like his parents are thinking about divorce, he can see that. And at some point, not Tony, Jack was thinking about suicide. And even what's his name, Danny was like, I don't know what that word was, but I saw it one time and I've never seen it again. And I don't want to know what it is, but it was very dark. And my dad has not had that thought since then. And I'm like, dude, it's like you can read minds.
He did say my dad was in an accident.
And that was the accident with the bike.
Right.
So
Uh-huh.
I feel like he can read minds. He can like, because obviously Danny wasn't there for the accident or whatever. He was home.
Mhm.
But how would he know? It's like he has these visions. You know? Oof,
Mhm.
damn,
I
Oh,
also
I'm
thought-
scared.
I was back and forth with the idea of like, is Danny seeing past?
Hey,
present,
Rico's
or
in book
future,
club.
right?
You want to join? Oh, here you want.
You guys hear me?
Anyways,
Hi.
yeah.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Hello. What's the T?
Hello.
See, we're talking about the book.
Dude,
I just
Okay.
got chills. So the kid kept writing red rum, and I was like, what the? He just kept saying it over and over. Backwards is spells murder.
Oh.
And I was like, I just fucking got. I've like checked under my feet. I just checked under my bed. I was like, no.
That's foreshadowing.
I'm trying to see if Danny is describing past, present, future too, though.
Mm.
Because, like, what if he's that might do in the future, or if he's seeing things that happen in the past? So that was something I was thinking about.
Yeah, I think the thing that Crystal said about the hatchet and like how Grady killed the girls, I think that's what Danny is seeing. But at the same time, because I didn't have that connection, I underlined that and I was like, is that a foreshadow? I feel like a lot of these things were foreshadowing what's gonna happen.
I totally agree.
I don't know. I'm just.
So I realized the two little girls on the cover are the sisters, right? That were murdered.
I don't have girls.
Yeah.
Show me the
On
cover.
the back.
There's two girls.
Oh, yeah.
Should I put two in there?
I only see one. Where's the other one?
The other one's there right next to her.
It's very dark.
Can't really see her.
Oh, that's creepy.
It's dark.
Yeah, I just have that.
And there's a dining table, so that must symbolize something really important because it's kind of bold in the back. It's creepy, huh?
Yeah, and the little girls
This one's kind of smiling at you.
where they're covered.
So I think the front is
Smiling?
his eyes because he sees things, right? So the house is the hotel.
Yeah, I think so.
But why is there lions?
Hey. Lion?
Yeah, there's lions on the bottom
Lions?
cover.
Oh, the lions at the bottom.
Yeah, there's 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Lion?
Wow.
Yeah, there's 3 lions on the cover.
Huh.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder
Maybe
why.
it's like a decoration at the hotel. You know how some places have like the statues in front of them?
Oh, maybe. Like a gargoyle?
Because you can tell-
Yeah. I'm still like mind blown that I kept reading red rum and I was like, red rum.
That when Rico said red room, I was thinking, is it like a specific room? Like he's referring to the room where like things happen?
Yeah.
But then when you said it's spelled backwards, murder, the first time he saw it was in a mirror. So it makes sense why he'd see it backwards.
Mhm.
So it was written, I don't know, from the other side, or it was written behind him or something, that he was seeing it on the mirror.
And even then, Danny, I think he was, because he kept reading when we first hear or get an introduction with Tony, or like around that. You know, when I kept saying like no swimming, danger, live wires, this property condemned. I think he also says like, I don't know what that means. I can't read. And I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Like this little boy is seeing all these things and he's not aware. Like the fact that like he didn't know what suicide was. Oh my God, boy.
Well, he's only 5.
Yeah.
But like when it goes back to like it's almost like you're in his mind, right? It's telling you from his perspective.
Yeah.
Like he sounds really smart for a 5-year-old.
Yeah, I think so. And it's also very dark.
Yeah, I mean, even Jack in the interview told the interviewer guy, I forget his name, it's like Olsen.
Oldman or something.
Oldman.
He
Yeah.
told him,
Oldman.
because he asked, oh, what does your wife think of this position? And he said, oh, she is,
An extraordinary woman.
yeah, an extraordinary woman. And then he says, what about your son? He extraordinary too. And he said, yeah, he's pretty smart for
Self-reliant.
for a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, little kids, we like what we talk about at school sometimes is that they have a very hard time grasping ideas like divorce or murder, suicide, or anything that's abstract. They can't because they're so literal. And at that age, they're very much like egocentric, like everything and how it affects them. They can't like really think past that most of the time. But it seems like Danny is like way smarter and more mature. but at the same time, I think he's having like some challenges kind of figuring out what those words really mean, because they are very abstract. And that brings us to the phone part.
Do you guys think, because we know that Jack has a drinking problem, and he's like, oh, I haven't had a drink before. Do you guys think that's enough for him not to break down?
No.
Wait, can you say that again, Judith?
So we know Jack has a drinking problem, and he told Ullman, he's like, oh, no, it's fine. I haven't had a glass. I haven't had a drink in 14 months. And I'm like, okay, cool. They emphasize that. But do you think that's enough for him not to have another breakdown or another loss, like lose your temper?
Relapse.
Yeah, episode.
I want to say it's not enough because there's so many references, especially in his own thoughts where it's in italics, like he's thinking like crazy things.
Yeah.
I feel like he's already very close to another breakdown no matter what happens, because he's just trying to fill in the role of being like the good husband so his wife doesn't leave him, but that's not his true self. So I think he's faking it a lot right now, and that any little thing that goes wrong is going to be like, what is it? The straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Because on page 38 for this book, it says, his mind would turn, and then it says, like, very sanely to the gun, rope, or razor blade. And I'm like, what kind of person could, like, very sanely think about committing suicide, and especially if they have, like, a wife and kid that they supposedly are trying to stay with, right? So I feel like that's not a stable person.
Yeah. That, it's kind of sad that, like, I like that at least Stephen King,
Open. I'm scared.
I've noticed how he mentions, like, we heard about the suicide from Danny's perspective, but then this is through his thoughts. He's like thinking about, he's not telling you about suicide, but you're thinking about the gun, the rope, or the razor blade. And like he's still mentioning suicide, but it's and I'm like, dude, that's pretty cool how it's not super repetitive, but you still get the idea.
I haven't gotten one.
You know.
Yeah, and then also there's, since he's going to be going to this hotel to work, we know that there's two things that can kind of push him over that edge. One being alcohol, and two being cabin fever. But he doesn't think cabin fever is going to affect him. We kind of talked about it already.
And he thinks he's past the drinking problem, so maybe we're going to see him relapse on one of those two things.
I think alcohol will definitely be one of the main things. If something does happen, which I'm pretty sure will happen to him, I think alcohol will be one of the main factors.
But how do you think it's going to happen? Do you think like a spirit's going to put it in his path?
The alcohol? No.
Yeah.
No, I think he's going to get it. He's just going to give in. He's just going to cave in and drink.
Well, there is a kitchen in the hotel, huh? That it describes like the dining room when they're like, oh, the lobby, how large it is, right?
Yeah. Because he did have a drink when he hit the little bowl. I don't know if it was little, but the Boy George, right? Or was that just like a temper thing?
He didn't. When he hit the guy at the school?
Yeah, when he...
No, I think I remember reading that it said like, oh, he did really good by not. Like that was an opportunity to, and he didn't.
Then why did he...
I think it was just the kid had slashed his tires or something.
And he lost it.
And he lost it.
Yeah.
That he hit him. And the kid had like a concussion or something.
That's intense. Like, when they kept saying that he lost his temper, I'm just like, oh, okay, what happened? He hit a student. I was like, excuse me, what? And then we find out that he broke
his own son's arm.
Yeah.
And then he was sober when he hit the kid, right? The college student?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. And Crystal confirmed that.
I think so. I'm thinking his temper maybe will be the thing that gets to him, right? Because I mean, drunk or not, if you have a really bad, that's gonna show up with any little thing.
Yeah. Oof.
Another thing too that aside his like we can see he's having like mental issues. Another thing is that I think he's kind of poor, right? Like
Yes.
he's not law. Because like even in this phone booth chapter, I think he leaves the house to go make a call when he's paying for a phone that I think Wendy made him get, right?
Yeah, where they have a phone.
Yeah.
Interesting that he's like he worries about money, but he's still doing, he's drinking, and he's also kind of doing this stuff behind their back.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's trying to be a good husband and father, but by him doing that, like he even said, like, I can make this call at home, but then we find out who Al is and what they've been through together. So then you can see why he would not want his wife knowing that they're still in contact or something like that. But still, it's pretty sketchy.
Pride, right?
Yeah, I think so. For sure.
Yeah, so far Jack does not seem very great.
I don't think he's a good person.
I think his wife should have left him when she had the chance.
Right.
She should have ran.
This means I agree.
I thought it was
And then the part where I wrote he had to break his son's arm to decide to stop drinking. I'm like, how messed up is that? Right? That is too extreme.
Yeah.
Did anyone have an idea on what the Martians are?
Are they the martinis?
Is a Martian another word for Martian?
I think that's what Alan. Am I wrong? Well, Al and what's his name, Jack, call them martinis.
That could be it, and I probably just missed that piece because I kept reading like Martians. I'm like, what is that?
Let me see. Because they mentioned them.
Oh, you're right. They were both very drunk. The Martians had landed that night in force. That must be the drinks, right?
The
Yeah.
martinis, yeah. Like, oh, they're in space because they're so drunk.
Oh,
damn.
Like they're floating.
Thank you.
Like, ooh.
That's why they mentioned it. What section was that in?
Here they talk about slaying the Martians, which is them stopping drinking. You're right, that makes sense.
And then we find out that he also dropped Danny when he was a baby.
That's what I'm
That was
saying.
bad.
Wendy should have left him when she had the chance. She already knew the signs were there. She already was like super sad, and she's like, her mom warned her.
I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why, because her mom is so judgy. She's afraid to leave him because she doesn't have like anywhere else she can go, I think.
But I think when she dies of a heart attack, she's like, hey, this is my chance. And she was going to, remember? And he's the one that's like, give me a week. He's like, if in a week you still want to talk about this, we can talk.
Oh yeah.
And then time had
Yeah.
passed, and like he left drinking. That's when everything started getting
She went
better.
cold turkey.
But I'm saying, like, she should have left when, like, she had the signs there. He dropped her. Like, she was like, what did she say? Like, what would be best for her and for Danny?
I was
Mhm.
thinking too that
I think
Jack could have talked about it right there, and then he's like, "Give me a week. Like, if you still want to talk in a week, talk to me. Like, I don't want to talk right now." I didn't like that. I mean, maybe he wasn't in the right like mental state, but what if this was important, you know? And he just kind of like brushed it off, like, no, talk to me in a week. That's how I read it.
Oh, yeah, I think he's right. So I think I'm pretty sure that he did hit the guy, the college kid, when he was sober, because I have like on this page, he had to break his son's arm, and then on this page I wrote like he went cold turkey. And then 1 week, he lost his temper.
Mm.
And so I wrote, still an evil guy, drunk or not, because I think that's what I think of his character so far. Like, he's not a good person.
I
And
thought it was
one thing I'm
interesting.
enjoying,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
it's okay, so you go first.
No, I interrupted you. You can go.
Okay. The last thing I was going to say is I like reading the parts where it's in italics about his thoughts, because I feel like his thoughts are like the most evil bit. And then maybe his conscience is kind of like trying to put him on the right path, but it's like an inner battle.
I didn't think about it that way. I was gonna say I found it interesting where at the end where it talks about how his mom notices, like after he had seen the divorce, right? He had like saw it, I guess, somewhere in his mind, right? Divorce, that his mom was thinking about leaving his dad, that he became really attached to his father. Where it wrote, Danny loves his mother. He loved his mother, but was his father's boy. Like he was always looking forward to his dad, was like always attached. Like he could rock him to sleep with like just like in 2 seconds, compared to the mom who struggled to put him down.
Which is kind of like sad, because then the mom is like, I can't go through this divorce when he's attached. You know?
Which I think she started noticing after he had seen the word divorce, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, because I think she mentioned
His
it.
friend, right?
And when she was having these thoughts of divorce, she looked over and Danny's face was like super sad and yeah.
Like, don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Which is sad, because I did write down that that's what Danny is like terrified of. He's like, I don't want them to, something like that.
Yeah, because I think it happened to his friend, right? He said his friend's parents got divorced.
Yeah. And then like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he said they go their separate ways. I have to be with one parent, and then I have to deal with whoever they decide to marry to be like my stepdad or mom or whatever. And he's like, I don't want that. And it's sad because he's what, 5? And we're seeing how affected he is. Oh my goodness. What is he doing?
Is there a part
I'm
where
scared.
he talks about them going? He said he didn't know if it was the basketball court or the tennis court.
Oh yeah.
I thought I heard that. I thought that was funny.
What is it? The rope? Or what?
Oh yeah,
Right?
that it was like some guy that was rich that liked the girl that got him into a sport, and he really liked it, so he built like this really nice court.
No,
It's like a sport.
I don't think that's what I was talking about.
Oh.
I feel like it was one. And then I know what you're talking about. That's at the beginning when they were talking.
Oh, that's what I was talking about.
Sort of thing. No, I think there's another piece, and I heard it in the audiobook. I don't even remember reading it, but I think Danny's thinking about divorce and what it is, and he goes, and the mom and dad have to go to court, and Danny thinks, do they go to a basketball court or a tennis court?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got it.
He's like, what kind of court?
Yeah, like who would win?
That's how like innocent he is. He's a little boy. He doesn't know. Like
He's not gonna know what hit him.
Even when he had that first episode, and like we don't know until he like comes back and his parents are like worried, and then he's like, he even said it. They're like, oh, he asked me if I was having hallucinations, and it was separated. And I was like, what is it? It's hallucinating.
Like he talks about Toby, right? Or Tony. His parents, and they're like,
yeah.
Tony?
They're like, what?
I think they know that he's special, but they're kind of like they don't want to encourage it.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's still young to be seen as having an imaginary friend.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty scared. I feel feel like this next part is going to be much scarier than this first part.
Well, now, yeah, I think so.
And after you said murder, I'm like, I'm ready to run.
I know what it stands for. Oh God! Like if
Well, he kept saying it in like big terms, like divorce. Like, oh, it's one of those words he doesn't like.
yeah.
And then quote on page 55, I think it's Wendy's perspective, and it's talking about their oneness would be destroyed from the outside, and it kind of makes it seem like she doesn't think that they can exist without each other, so they have to stay with them. And so I was wondering, like, something's gonna happen in the hotel, of course. I feel like that's what has to happen in this book. But I'm wondering if it's gonna be like the spirits, because we know, I'm imagining the hotel's haunted with the little girls, or is it gonna be Jack's temper, or is it gonna be the alcoholism, or, you know, what's gonna happen because they're gonna be stuck out there. There's a lot of possibilities for something to go wrong.
What if it's Wendy? She goes crazy because she has all this built-in anger towards Jack.
Really, I didn't know about that.
You could get cabin fever.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, when they're saying that, when he is going through the boiler room with that other guy, I forgot his name, Watson. And
Watson, that's his name. That was the maintenance guy, right?
Yeah, that's
Where's my-
his great grandfather or something like that. Was the owner or the creator or the hotel person.
Yeah.
When he's going about the story about that, I was kind of confused. There's an older lady that apparently died, overdosed, right, on sleeping pills.
Oh, right.
And so, like, if you guys understood that, I'm kind of confused. Who was the boy? Was she like having an affair with that little kid, or I mean, not even
There with a much younger
Well, she said
man.
my wife. He said
Yeah,
my
like-
wife.
Oh, okay. Because then after she died, apparently a guy came over and he's like, oh, do you want me to put this story out and say that your wife overdosed on sleeping pills in a hotel? And then they found the porch somewhere else that belonged to the guy who was working at like a restaurant or something. So I don't know if you guys understood that. Or like
What I got from that, basically, it was at one point, it was a hotel where rich guys would go to have an affair.
Yeah.
That's what I got from
Right?
That's all. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so is the one that died, she was the one having an affair?
I think so, from what I remember.
I think they both were.
Oh. So the guy with the Porsche as well?
The guy who died? Yeah.
Okay. I want to reread it.
Where was that at? I don't remember where that was. I just remember listening.
In chapter 3. I think I just went through it so fast and I was like, wait, okay, a lady died. But I was like, I don't know who the guy is.
No, they didn't really they just said, oh, they had reserved the space or a room for like 10 days, right?
Yeah.
And that there was bets on how long he would last. Because after like a few days or whatever, like she would just come down super drunk and he would just smile at her like a smile that, you know, like a basic smile, like you know. That's what I kind of got from it. It's like, oh, like, I don't know. And then he got scared because she wasn't waking up or something and ran away.
Yeah.
Right? Because she wasn't waking up. She was in the bathtub or something.
Uh-huh.
Oh, is that the one where the body was frozen or something?
Was that the same woman that they found her in the bathtub? Like, because she had taken a bunch of sleeping pill or painkillers after she had a bunch of alcohol in her system.
Because rereading it for us, so we'll see.
Oh gosh.
I'm rereading it too. I'm like, wait, let me just like calm down and like read it slowly.
very fast because I thought I wasn't going to finish. I had a pretty busy week. And it was good.
Yeah, because it goes like, so you were describing the whole like, she's got this kid, he can't be more than 17, like they're there for a week.
Mhm.
We're describing them together. And then he's like, the guy comes down, the 17-year-old, one night around 10 saying his wife is indisposed, which meant she was passed out again like every other night they was there. And he's
Mhm.
going to get her some stomach medicine. That's when he leaves and never comes
And
back.
then never see him again.
Yeah, and I think
Oh,
he then starts saying that
she was already dead,
he
probably.
was looking bad. So he leaves. Next morning, she comes down and tries to put on this big act. Like all day, she's getting paler and paler. And then Mr. Ullman, they ask like, "Oh, do you want us to see if maybe there was an accident that he had or something?" She's on him like a cat. No, no, no. He's a fine driver. She isn't worried. Everything's under control. He goes up to her room around 10:30, and that's the last time anybody saw her alive. So that's when she took the sleeping pills with the booze, and that's when she like switched her overdose, right?
Oh,
But it is when they
maybe
find
she
her in
thought
the,
he left her.
and then it says her husband showed up the next day, some big shot lawyer from New York. So they were having an affair, or she was at least. And he's like, "I'm gonna sue you."
Mhm.
He's like, "No, you're not. You want me to put it in the paper that your wife died with sleeping pills?" And then they found the
Right.
in a burger
Well,
joint.
yeah, they say that Ullman is really good at doing the cover-ups, right? Like to keep the
Yeah.
good press on the
Yeah.
hotel so that they keep having guests. Because he did say that year was the first year they had made a profit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Oh, and then later on, the maid says that she sees the ghost of the lady.
The
Yeah,
ghost?
in the tub, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's where
one of the
I
ghosts
he's
that's
from.
there. And I think
And
So
then
we know there
maybe
has to
40
be,
there has to be more.
yeah,
Like,
well, there has to be the
more
guy, the previous maintenance guy, his wife, the two girls, and now this lady. He said there's at least 50 people that had died, right, in that
yeah,
hotel.
something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Ullman will
I
probably,
totally missed
whatever
that part.
happens, he's gonna cover up. Oof.
I wonder what year this is set in. I feel like 70s or 80s. No, 1910 is when the hotel was opened.
We'll say
But they don't have-
bug.
They don't have house phones all over yet, right? They're still using payphones. So I want to say like 70s.
Let me see. I think it says where you can get it from when the hotel was built,
Okay.
and I think it's like 7 years old or something.
There's probably some information in the beginning where the hotel guys.
Oh yeah, because they say how many times it had
But it's
been,
after-
right? The previous owner sold it to to someone else
Yeah.
because he didn't want to have to deal with all the hotel stuff or something like that, right?
Wasn't it also creepy? I just came across like towards the end when I think Wendy is having Danny, how they're like, where's it go? He has no face.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh, there he is, his sweet face. I didn't even catch
What
that.
did we miss?
I just said, there's also this section towards the end where Wendy's having Danny, and she's like, he has no face. Like, what was that all about?
Oh yeah. Maybe he's gonna be like a medium for the other spirits to talk to real life people about what happened to them. That's why he didn't have a face.
Isn't that the Sixth Sense? The kid,
Yeah, that's
the kid that sees people that have just died or something, helps guide spirits to the light.
Yeah, that's true.
I just see something like the story of 1970.
I think it's in the
Winter
Oh
in
shit!
70s.
I have to go grab my
1970.
charger.
oh, I was like, because it says, of course he had a face, but there was something covering it, and it says it was the amniotic membrane.
The sack or something, right?
Yeah, the sac.
What is that?
And then she kept, so the baby has a little sac where it gets its fluid. It's like floating. So that was covering his face, which is interesting because they usually pop. So I'm guessing it popped, or like the baby's coming out, and maybe that was stuck on its face. That's interesting. Like portion of it, maybe.
Could be.
I don't know, because babies are like floating in their bag. And for twins,
Yeah. Oh, I see.
for twins, there can be cases where they have their own bag or they're sharing a bag.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's yeah. And then
Maybe that's why it covered his eyes.
yeah, but
That it gave him the gift of seeing the dead.
Mm.
Trying to think.
and it's interesting.
Yeah.
She kept it in a small jar. And
Oh,
she's
well,
like,
yeah, she's not superstitious, right?
yeah,
But then
she's not superstitious, but she still did it.
Interesting.
And the boy has been unusual from the first, like since then. That's interesting. I don't
Let me
know.
see if my phone's charging.
So far I like it. I'm not mad.
Really, you're not mad like the last.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up giving a better. If it keeps going like this, I think my review will be a little bit better than the previous book. Like, I like it.
Oh, only a little
it
bit.
happens. They can't all be 5-star ones.
Yeah, I think it might be. Maybe I'm pushing it. Maybe I shouldn't like have too many expectations, or like, oh, it's gonna be a 5, and then it doesn't turn out to be. But so far, I mean, Stephen King is not disappointing
It
me.
keeps you thinking, right?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
I don't know. I'm a little
My
scared.
favorite part so far is when they're describing the hotel.
Yeah.
And like the things he has to do to make the hotel not break, basically.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
all
like,
those
all the
things
boys.
are gonna break or gonna fail him somehow.
Honestly.
Yeah, like something's gonna happen and it's gonna start. Something's gonna happen.
Like,
Should we decide where we should reach it?
oh yeah, that's true. Also, like, why
I
else?
think about
All the little details of the hotel.
10 pages. So we're on page 50. Another 60 pages would be about like page 110, 124. Or we could read until
Where's
the
part
next
3?
part. Yeah,
Where's part 3?
you mean part 2? Or part 3, actually. We're on part 2.
It would be part 3.
I see
Yeah.
what you mean.
We can read part 2. Yeah, it's 102. No, that's not a lot of pages though, right? It's like 40 pages.
It's about
How many
50.
parts are there in this book?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, and I keep going through it, and I can't find the next part. Maybe I skipped it. Look
Is
at
there
I'm
a
going
table of
through
contents? No.
and it's like it's not. I'm not reaching it. Oh my God! Part 3 is this big compared to like part 2. Look at that. Look at the parts. Part 3 is huge. Part 3
Ooh, there's a chapter.
Oh,
Okay, chapter 50 is its title is Red Rum.
murder. You mean
oh
murder?
my God.
I think there's only 5 parts.
I'm still like amazed that, like, as I'm reading this, I'm not really going too deep or analyzing any of it. But the fact that Corina was like, I don't know, it just kind of hit me like, wait, reverse the word, reverse. and then I saw a murder, and I was like, bitch, you did not.
Should we do like maybe 2 pages? We could a little into part 3.
We could do. If there's only 5 parts.
Yeah, because it's like
What
they're
pages
pretty
is-
good about going by chapters. So you really could just say, "Oh, read to chapter."
Yeah, I like that. And the chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about chapter 8 to chapter 17? That's page 61 to 139. So about 80 pages.
Oh,
I think that's good.
I think that's decent.
I think that's a
Okay.
good chunk.
Are we-
Especially because, well, we have to, let's see, if there's how many pages, how many weeks are we reading for? 7? We have 6 weeks left, right?
So, yeah.
So there's 5.
Are we stopping at 17 or reading 17?
Let me see how long 17 is.
Because I'm okay at stopping at 17 to
18 starts at 54, so I think either would be okay. It's not too much of a difference.
just to make whoever did not join us, it's not too much for them to read.
Okay, so 7.
Although I don't think it's
I
that
agree.
much, but hey, I don't know.
That way Rico can.
That would what?
So Rico can catch up.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
I do need to catch up.
It's-
I'm a slow reader, that's why.
But you can listen to it when you drive to work.
I can focus.
The last thing I wanted to say about the book is, you know how Wendy keeps calling Danny Doc?
Why?
And then the sequel is called Doctor Sleep. So I wonder if that has something to do with the name of the sequel.
Are we going to read the sequel?
I might, yeah, after I finish it, but that could be the traveling
If
book
we're
one.
down to keep going with it, I mean, I wouldn't mind. Let's see how we feel about it when we're done with this one.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
Okay, so we said to stop at chapter 17, right? Don't read 17?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think that's too much for the people that didn't read?
That
Do
didn't
you want
finish
to make it
reading?
shorter?
That didn't finish? Wait, let me see.
Let's see what chapter 16 is at.
Chapter 16.
I feel like the chapters are pretty short.
Yeah, but chapter 16.
Actually, no.
If we read-
Just as I say that, chapter 16 is pretty long.
I. That's funny.
It stops at
Chapter
122.
Shit.
Yeah. So that's about 60 pages. I think that's a decent amount. Chapter 8 to chapter 16, beginning of 16.
Or stuff.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking it didn't catch up. I don't know how far Crystal got.
But the thing is, también, we had only half a week. Maybe that's why. Usually
I
when
think
it's like
that's
we've
probably
been
what it
reading
was.
more than 100 pages,
It's
but
true.
like we'll read them in a whole week span. So I think a good 60
How about-
pages
How about we
is
do
good.
like check up on? Maybe we can text people, see where they're at.
We can do a poll.
Yeah. So like initially we did like 100 and some, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it's like we're splitting it up because we have a longer
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Because I kind of predicted we need to read up like 9 to 10 chapters a week to finish the book in 6 weeks.
Okay. I'm just thinking.
Maybe you do a poll or just have them text you, Judith, or to the Instagram page. That way, if someone needs more time, I wouldn't want to be like, oh, well, we're going to read all the way to here, right? That person will not feel like we're taking their...
it will just be like an impossible like checkpoint for them, which I think is what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also their fault if they're not keeping on top of it. I'm not gonna say that shit happens and stuff comes up, but
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you already fall behind one time and then you just keep falling behind, like that just
It's a chain. It's like you're going to keep falling back.
yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying we can try and accommodate everyone, but at the same time we can't do that. We gotta keep going. So I'm thinking we can stay up to chapter 16 and then let's add the up to 18 you said?
Up to 17. It was just an extra chapter.
Oh yeah, up to like stop at 17, huh?
Stop at 17, or yeah, but since you said to make it shorter, we're
Yeah.
saying stop at 16. So don't read 16.
Exactly. So
Because yeah, chapter 16 is like,
lengthy.
I want to say like 16 pages long.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
Ay, asustas.
You're like, not when I'm reading this book.
No, she's just go. She's opening the door. She's checking up on Cora, like she's like knocked out dead, but like it just opened. Oh, maybe I'm not gonna be okay after this book.
Yeah, there's gonna be certain words that we cannot say during book club, like dead, murder.
Yeah. So how about we do up to 16, and then I can check it on people, and if we can go further, then we'll add in that one chapter.
I think that's
I don't know when I'm
Yeah.
working on the people though. Thursday.
I say
think-
we should just read just to 17 and see how far everyone gets next week, and then because not everybody showed up this week.
Yeah.
Just say, you know,
Okay.
just make it like a like if you didn't finish reading, that's okay. Please join us still, you know, for discussion.
And maybe we can like limit.
So that way we can see how far they're reading, how fast they're reading, and if they need extra time, we can slow it down.
Yeah.
Because they're not really here to to vouch for themselves, to be like, oh yeah, we can totally do it, you know.
Yeah. That's true. So then we're doing.
Because then we're going to be
Reading too.
behind.
Yeah.
Because then we're going to be behind if like we plan to finish in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to be behind if we don't read
True.
like
So
9
up
to 10
17, you
9 to
said?
10 chapters a week.
17.
I think yeah,
So
to
stop
read
at
just to 17.
We can do
Stop
that.
at 17.
I'll do that, and I'll let other people know, and then.
Yeah, and just make it,
Okay.
you know,
So,
like please still join us.
Meeting at
What was that?
is the next meeting on Sunday at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that work with you guys?
Yeah. So you have time.
Yes.
I was telling Rico I can leave my copy with him and just get another copy for myself, but I think he's gonna share the PDF.
Yeah.
I'll forward it to you.
Oh yeah. I also, and the PDF, it's kind of nice because it seems shorter. It was only like 42 pages compared to like this little book that I have. It's 82. So like it really depends on the medium you're using, but I don't know. It's PDF still works.
Yeah, I feel like the hardcover también is like, I feel like the wording, I don't know, I found it pretty easy to read because it's kind of like, there's not a lot of words per page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okie doke. So 17, and then yeah, we'll stick with Sundays at 8, unless people want it earlier or whatever. But I think 8 kind of works with everyone.
Yeah, because when you say 7, everyone pushes it back to 7:30.
And then
8.
we end up getting in the discussion like at 8 and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we really start like at 8:30.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Okay.
excited for next week.
So I'll stop
I'm
the
scared.
recording
I might need someone to cuddle me.
here.
We
And
should all watch the
Hold my
movie
hand.
after.
I'm so down. I want to do it. I want to.
Okay, cool. I will too. It's been a while since I've seen it. I can't really remember it certain scenes.